favorite drinks is a nice hot cup of chai. Even iced, I love chai. It's just a great flavor. The spiciness of the ginger, the kick of the pepper, the clove and the cinnamon, they all just combine to make a delicious flavor. I can't get enough of it. So when I'm on a raw cleanse or just following my high raw diet, like I always am these days, I have a beverage or a raw version that I want to share with you today. Now I've just used a microplane zester, one of my favorite little kitchen gadgets, and I've grated about a tablespoon and a half of ginger. Now I like a ton of ginger, so I'm gonna err towards the excess of a tablespoon. If you're not as big, you don't want it to overpower your chai, you can always step that down a little bit. But for me, tablespoon to tablespoon and a half of fresh ginger. Then I'm also going to put some fresh pepper in my chai. Now you could use already ground up black pepper, but I think it makes a real difference in the flavor if you just go ahead and ground it yourself. Now I set my pepper grinder to the finest setting that I can, and then I grate it right onto wax paper, and I go for about a half teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. And wax paper, I love keeping wax paper on hand. I use it for anything that I want to make sure to hand grade and then measure out, or I also use it for taking my raw food to go. If I'm going to wrap anything, if it has to be wrapped in plastic wrap or foil, I like to wrap it in wax paper first. I know it might be a little bit wasteful, but I feel like it's definitely a better way to go. So keep some wax paper on hand for that. So we have 1 tablespoon of the ginger and 1/2 teaspoon of the fresh ground black pepper. Now we're going to add 1 full teaspoon of cinnamon, and we're going to add a half teaspoon of clove. Now clove is another really strong flavor, but I think it gives chai its signature taste. So if you want to scale that back a little bit, start with a 1/4 teaspoon and then bump up to a half if you need it. Vanilla, also you could use a fresh vanilla bean. I'm out today, so I'm going to use a full tablespoon and a half of the vanilla. Now this is just an organic vanilla extract. Again, you could use 2 full vanilla beans, just the seeds, and discard the pod. Don't discard it, throw it in the trash, put it aside, and then put it in your drinking water. Put that in the fridge, and that makes a delicious water to just snack on as you go through the day. Okay, so we have the ginger, the pepper, the cinnamon, the clove. Now we're going to add some honey. We have a half cup of honey here. And once we have this here, we are going to just whip it up and make sure that it's well blended, and then we're going to store it and have it ready. Then whenever we want a chai, we can just put a teaspoon of it. We can either use some lightly warmed almond milk and put it in there, or you can put it with ice and almond milk in the Vitamix and just blend it right up. It's so delicious. It's like nothing Starbucks will ever be able to make. Full, delicious, raw, healthy chai. I love it. Of course, this does have sugar in it, so anybody who's watching their sugar intake, obviously you need to be careful with that. Another thing to use this for, if you keep this on hand, ooh, that's good. When you make things like the chai spice oat groats, or maybe when you make your maca in the morning, instead of sweetening those with like a maple or honey, just give them a little squeeze of this, and it tastes delicious and flavorful and gets your day off to a very, I don't know, diverse, ethnic, delicious, flavorful, worldly sort of a taste. So let's roll this up together. We're just looking for the mixture to be evenly incorporated. I'm going to give it a nice little shake and do it one more time. That honey is real thick, so we want to make sure that it's really well incorporated with all the spice. That looks good. Okay, so that is going to be our chai concentrate. Now, obviously, we use the blender for other things, so we don't want to leave it sit around like this. So you'll want to transfer it to preferably a glass container, and then you'll have that ready. Now, this is ready to go just like that. You just put some almond milk in there and you are good to go. As a matter of fact, instead of cleaning out the mixture, I'm just going to make myself a fresh chai right now. So I will get this almond milk off of there, get myself a nice little glass of chai. And when you go to use the mixture, you use about a tablespoon. You can test it out and see how much you like. There we go. I'm gonna spoon off in there too. Oh my gosh, come on now. So good. Okay. So again, you put about a tablespoon of the chai, plus I'm rinsing out what was already in the blender, so Aha. Quick little whirl. Now obviously if I wanted this to be chilled, I could just have thrown a couple of ice cubes in there too. But I want it just like that. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, let me try it. Oh, it's perfect. The ginger warms you up a little bit. The pepper gives it a nice little kick. If you want more of a kick, dash a little bit of cayenne in there too. If you like it spicy, that's definitely a great addition. For me, I like to keep the concentrate a little more even keeled. And then if I want to add the spice to whatever I'm using the mixture in, I can always add a little bit of chai at the last minute. That way, if my daughter or my son wants a little bit of chai, it's not going to be too spicy for them to enjoy it as well. So go ahead and give that a try. That's our raw chai concentrate. And this is how you make it with the milk. Just add a tablespoon of the mixture with some almond milk. Add a little more or a little less, depending on how strong you like it. And enjoy your fresh raw chai.